Yeah. So, I think that's it for our horror picks.
Hello dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of the Spectre Approved podcast. A podcast where two gamers play a game in which we leave a big pile of weapons on the floor. I'm your host Adam, and I am once again joined by Fenris.
That's me.
So yeah, this game, Resident Evil 0. What was our, I don't even remember, our kind of rationale at the time for going Resident Evil 0 opposed to Resident Evil 1?
Because even though it came out after the original Resident Evil, it was released in the same year as the GameCube remake for 1, and it technically is a prequel. So I figured, why not go ahead and get it out of the way? That way, understand the story a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That is good. So Resident Evil 0, like Fenris said, initial release, November 12, 2002, for the GameCube, alongside a remake of Resident Evil 1. It then had a HD remaster in January 19th, 2016 for PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Ooh, gotta love those cross-generational games. So originally it was developed by Capcom Studio 3, first designed for the Nintendo 64, but due to the hardware limitations and the eventual decline of the 64DD, it was reimagined and redeveloped for the GameCube. So key creatives included Shinji Mikami and Yoshiki Okamoto, with a script from Noboru Sugimura, who, from the article I got that from, it says, who finished the draft so early he forgot parts of it, which I think really fucking rolls into the story of this game. The game introduced two notable mechanics. Partner zapping was the official term, but basically switching between two characters in the game, and a no item box system, which was the first and last for the franchise.
Yeah, that really messed me up. I was expecting item boxes because they're a staple in the early Resident Evil games, and there was none, so it just kind of made your inventory management a little bit more difficult. And then the character swapping was a really cool thing because you don't see that again until 5.
Yep. Cool. Okay, do you want to tell us a bit more about the inventory, like in terms of like your history with Resident Evil? Because I don't have any. This was my first go through at a game.
So, inventory management in Resident Evil is a game in and of itself, because at least in the original trilogy that was released back in the early 90s, and you have a character with, like, I don't know the actual number to it, but it's like, I'm gonna say 9 slots that you can put stuff in, and that's just for them to hold. And one of those slots is always going to have to be an ink ribbon, because the only way to save in those games was to use an ink ribbon with a typewriter. Everything always takes up 1 slot, with the exception of your big boomers like shotguns or grenade launchers. Those take up 2 slots. So it's a game of, how well you can manage your inventory while ducking and dodging and the streets of Raccoon City, or in this case, somewhere that wasn't Raccoon City or the mansion. But and then like you can pick up herbs to help you with your health, and then you can mix those herbs, which I'd like to get into that a little bit because they kind of messed with that system a little bit, but I liked how they did it. And I mean, and that's pretty much it. It's kind of, and then they revamped the inventory system in Resident Evil 4,
Okay.
and they gave you an attaché case, and it starts off small, like I don't know, like 10 by 12 squares.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can fit, you know, anything you need in that. And as you progress through the game, you can spend money to get a bigger attaché case to fit more
Yeah.
stuff. Um, and then that one is pretty much just inventory Tetris.
Okay. So do
But I
items
mean,
have like different shapes as opposed to just being taking up
no,
different
no.
slots?
And Resident Evil 4,
Okay. So it's not like
no,
Dredge where you
it's not
have.
like Tetris. I say Tetris because it can be like Tetris, but everything in Resident Evil 4 is square. It's just different because your herbs and your
Okay.
med sprays are both 1 by 2. Your pistols are usually like 3 by 2. Your rifles are usually anywhere from I say like 10 by 3, and then your scopes are 2 by 1. So it's. Well, I'll pull up an image and I'll share it with you.
Um, but in terms of the wider series, have you played all eight?
Yes, I have not finished Village yet,
Okay.
but I have played all 8. I have not played Code Veronica or any other spin-off games. There was a first-person shooter that they released on the Wii that I dabbled in a little bit at a friend's house. That one was kind of fun. It was kind of like an arcade shooter.
Oh, cool.
I really enjoyed that one,
Yep.
but I didn't have a Wii, so I wasn't able to play it.
Yeah. Resident Evil has a similar story with me, like it does for most of the franchises. I own all the games, but haven't played any of them. I dabbled in 5 for a little bit and got frustrated with being able to only play it single player. And I also played Operation Raccoon City, which is the third person squad based one, or is that the
Yeah,
first
that
person one
one.
that you were talking about?
Yeah, ORC is a game that has really wishy-washy reviews, and I don't remember if I have it. I'm looking it up now, but it is one that I was interested in. I do not have it,
It was like four
but
bucks pre-owned, so I'm like, why not? When I was hoovering up like the
yeah,
last of those Xbox 360 type era games.
yeah, because wasn't it like a squad-based shooter kind of
From memory, yeah.
Fortnite kind of thing?
Yeah, from memory.
You're just running around a map trying to kill the other team.
Yeah. So that's all my history is in the franchise. I read the books, and I've watched the movies, but they are what they are. Books were actually really well written. They follow a different set of characters. It's basically Alice's
Yeah.
story though, from the movies. It doesn't follow Jill or anyone like that. And this game itself also introduced 2 new characters. Is that correct? Rachel and Billy.
No, Rachel. No,
Oh,
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Rebecca is kind of a staple in the original series, or at least in the trilogy.
Okay.
I don't think she shows up in 5. I think she's one of the main characters in 6. And she is nowhere, I think, in 7 or 8.
Oh wow, cool. Um, just jumping back a little bit. How long? Oh, where did you play this, and how long did it take you to beat?
I played it on the PC. And it took me around 6 or 7 hours to beat
Yep.
because I died a few times and I lost a lot of progress.
Yeah, we'll get to that. um, so I also played on PC. Took me, my game clock says 5.6 hours. I used a guide, however, after a very similar situation to what Fenris mentioned, after losing a lot of progress. And I ended up getting 33 out of the 47 achievements that Steam has. But we'll move on to that as well. Initial gut reaction though, I actually really liked the beginning of this game. Yeah, it's 2000 zombies camp, but the train level in itself I found really cool. Walking through with Rebecca, meeting Billy, doing a few small puzzles, and then just introducing the leech zombies as well, I thought was really
Yeah.
well done. I'll get to whether I thought that continued throughout the game, but in terms of initial gut reaction, I found it like beautifully grotesque.
Yeah.
If I had to term it.
And that's what a lot of the Resident Evil games are. Because the zombies aren't just, like flesh melting off a body, zombies walking around. I mean, you do have mutated horrors. And we got to see a lot of new ones in this game that I'd never seen before. So,
Yeah, and even the first boss, which was the Scorpion, I think, from memory.
yes, the scorpion on the
Trying
train.
to fight that in a compact train car was just it was terrifying in a way, because I was still going in blind at that point. I didn't know what to expect, and trying to kill this big ass scorpion with a handgun was just I'm like, how
Yeah,
the
you're
hell am
like,
I going to get through
this is
this game?
supposed to be a game about zombies. Why am I fighting a
Oh, I hadn't
scorpion?
got there yet. I was happy with the scorpion. It's just when the other bosses were all animals as well that I was less inclined.
Yeah, that kind of dampened it a little bit.
Yeah. Um, so I guess we'll get into the gameplay and mechanics. I guess first throwing it across to yourself because you're the expert as opposed to me. What kind of stayed in the core loop and what didn't in terms of Resident Evil Zero compared to the other games?
The original tank controls with the static camera.
Yep.
Um, the I don't remember if this was in the original, but the auto aim was a really nice change. Because if you I did this on controller, so I think it was like left trigger to aim, and then it was like right bumper to fire or something. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but whenever you aimed, if there was a zombie nearby, you just like auto aimed. That was really nice. The inventory management as a core system, the the puzzles, those are stable in all the Resident Evil games. Um, the health management, poison. Um, I am pretty much like all the mechanics are there
Okay.
from the rest of the games. I don't think. I mean, outside of the partner system, I don't think it really added anything new.
Yep. Okay. So from each of the area you visit, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I kind of saw the core loop as you go to a place, you drop all your inventory at the start of a place. You go through, pick up what you need to solve puzzles, kill a bunch of baddies along the way, fight a boss, and move on to the next area. That was kind of what my gameplay loop ended up being. Overall,
Yep, that's pretty much it.
sometimes it was go into a room, get staggered by a zombie, and then get stun locked into dying and lose 20 minutes of progress.
Always frustrating.
Yeah, but that only happened once or twice. And I ended up using a save anywhere mod to help me with that.
Yeah, see, I looked up some mods and I kind of wanted to download the inventory box mod.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I quite... That wasn't a deal breaker for me. And actually, neither were the tank controls. I think I barely noticed it by the start. I thought I'd have a real problem, because I'm definitely much a pampered modern gamer in that sense. I really like my movement to be smooth and easygoing. But I found, like, by the time I'd gotten off the train, I was pretty all okay with tank controls.
Yeah, and they do it really well. It's just sometimes whenever you'll probably find this out when we play the first game, but when you're trying to duck and weave and trying to conserve ammo and not fight your way through a section, and you know, like you're relying on the camera and the tank controls, and sometimes you run into a wall whenever you're trying to escape something. It can get frustrating, but I feel like this game was a lot easier than the others.
Yeah, okay. The right bumper was also a bit of an adjustment to fire. I was expecting it to be on the right trigger, and I get the only time that I had trouble with the camera was that bloody centipede boss, and trying to hit that fucker with the rocket launcher when it was off screen. They were the main, I guess, camera problems I had.
Yeah, and that is something, because you know you only have so much camera, and then the bosses are so big, and your arena is so small, so it's a balance act.
Yep. I think we probably should talk about the new bits they added then, being the partner.
Okay.
Because the AI was fucking stupid and wasted a lot of ammo. I try and avoid fighting where I could, because very much like Silent Hill, where ammunition is... Well, actually I didn't have a problem with ammunition by the end of this game. I had a shit ton, but at the start I was still very much in I have to conserve every bullet mode, so I was running past a lot of things in the main corridors where I could. And also because I learned quite quickly that sometimes if you don't burn a body after you kill it, they come back as the super zombies, which fucking scared the shit out of me the first time that happened.
Surprise.
And I got wrecked. That's when I started switching to Billy and just using his lighter for everything.
Yeah. And see, I played this on easy because I didn't want any kind of challenge. So, like, I was just after this game for the story. Because I'd never played this game before. And, Billy was the stronger... They basically split one character into two people. Rebecca was the weaker fighter. Billy was the stronger fighter. So you wanted him to have all the strong weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca, being, a combat person or whatever, even though this was her first job, she she did the whole herb management. She could combine herbs and deal with chemicals and stuff like that. Billy had the lighter. I mean, they did a really good job at splitting up everything that one person usually does into two people.
Yes, I kind of disagree with you, if I'm being honest on that one. Because Rebecca's meant to be special forces, so how the fuck is she not proficient with every weapon? Stars are meant
Because
to be.
this is a Japanese game, and she is a woman.
Yeah, well, I found that out when I tried to push a bookcase, and I got the achievement for Rebecca trying to push the bookcase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only Billy can push bookcases.
Billy is a big old strong man.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of them having different skill sets and having their own special item, I guess. Because yeah, Rebecca had the chemical set. She was like the scientist, for want of a better word, and Billy had the lighter.
Yeah.
They were just dumb as a bag of rocks when you were together. So I kind of just left the other person somewhere safe while I went off and did everything.
Sometimes you can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we'll get there. You feel like the game respected your time?
Yeah, like it took me. Again, I'm speaking from the privilege of a guide. For a first time playthrough, it probably would take me about 8 hours. I don't know whether it's just because at the time that I was playing it and trying to get through it for the like most time efficient amount of time. Some puzzles probably would have stumped me. That math puzzle on the train, the very first number puzzle, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I wouldn't have got that by myself.
Yeah, me either.
Maybe I'm just a dum-dum. I don't know.
And that's something that you'll find throughout the Resident Evil series. It slacks off in 4 because they really changed a lot of stuff. The puzzles are still there, but the vagueness of them is not. Or rather, the vagueness on how to solve them, because the math puzzle that you're talking about is up at the front of the car. You have to brake the cart, the train, because it's reading out of control, and for whatever reason there's front brakes and rear brakes, and you have to do them at the same time. And at the front of the train, you have to use a series of numbers to add them up and have them match the number that you have to get to.
Yeah.
For like the brake lever or whatever. And then in the back you have to do the same thing, except one of your gauges is broken, so you can't really see the number, so you have to it's kind of a guessing game, and you've only got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was
to do
the
this.
time limit that also put me under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I think I died about 2 times before I ended up getting it.
Yeah.
At first I'm like, oh, is this going to be one of those artificial timers that doesn't actually blow up the train? But yeah, it is.
Yeah. Timers mean something in Resident Evil games. If there's a timer, hurry up.
Yeah. Things like the Statue of Justice puzzle, where you need to put different statues on the scales to balance them out. Things like that were pretty good and made a lot of intuitive sense. I just started trying to combine everything in terms of items, which was really funny because I didn't end up working out you combine herbs to make health. Because my health was in abundance and I had the heal spray, which I preferred using anyway. Because when the achievement popped at the end saying you didn't use herbs throughout the entire game. And I'm like, no, I didn't know I could. So I'm like, I just ended up dropping them. Because I tried eating just the herbs, and I'm like, oh, why isn't this working? I'm just going to drop it. It's taking up a spot I don't need to.
No, that's inventory management.
Yeah. I don't think there were any other real standout puzzles for me in the game. Again, playing a few Silent Hills, they have some obtuse puzzles in that series as well.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of like the combat itself, I didn't have any issues either. The guns, like you said, the auto aim was a big help. I had real trouble getting headshots sometimes though.
Yeah, when your aiming is either straight out or straight up or straight down, getting headshots means you have to let them get in close.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me ages to pop that critical one. And I also got an achievement for stomping on a zombie, and I don't know how I did it. I don't remember which button let me stomp on them.
I don't know if it's a button, but what probably happened is you probably got attacked by a zombie on the ground, and in your efforts to get away, just curb stomped them.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, because that was something I think they did in 2 Remake that I've heard about that's really cool. That when like a zombie latches onto you, if you have like a grenade or something, you can shove it in their mouth and then get out of the situation that way. Yeah, that sounds sweet.
The I don't. It's they added like boot knives or something into that story. And basically what it is it's in the first remake too, where if you get attacked, you can use the knife to, like stab it in the head and get away.
Yeah, cool. Because I fought a lot of enemies with the knife to begin with, because I'm like, I don't want to waste ammo. But I found even as Billy, I was getting owned like that, so I ended up keeping a distance or just avoiding them altogether. This game was like a running puzzle simulator for me. I didn't really fight anyone I didn't have to except the bosses.
I fought everything. I had an abundance of ammunition, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot everything. Because everything was going down in like 2 to 3 hits. Like with Rebecca, they were going down in 3 hits, and then if I had Rebecca and Billy firing, it was like 2 from Rebecca and 1 from Billy, and dead.
Yeah.
Like,
quality of life. I don't think there was too much, because this is what, like a 2016 remake of a 2002 game. I'll remaster. Really fucking hate the save system.
get used to it.
God damn it.
Because it's not until... no, 4 still uses the typewriter, but they get rid of the ink ribbon.
I'm hoping 2 and 3
and then,
remake will have some modern save.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I know that the typewriter is in 2 remake, but I think at that point they had implemented the ink ribbon thing, so I don't remember if ink ribbons are in 2 remake or not.
No, that's all good.
I'll double check on that real quick.
For listeners' awareness, I will be playing everything that has a remake as a remake. I won't be playing the originals.
Oh, yeah, no, for this series, I'm dragging you through the remakes because just for quality of life, they are so much better than the originals.
Thank you. Were there... no, there weren't subtitles, were there? Were there subtitles? I don't remember subtitles.
No, I don't remember subtitles either, but I could also be misremembering.
Okay. because I remember with the cutscenes themselves, having to pay real attention to what was going on, because this game, it does have some assumed knowledge, I guess, about who people are, because like Wesker and his offsider,
Yeah.
again, I don't even know his name. Two main people from the series. But I only knew Wesker because of his distinctive look. They never said who they were at any point.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into why this game is a prequel, because you're supposed to be going into this game knowing who these characters already are.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only one you really need to make note of is Wesker, because he's going to have a continuing uh,
Yeah.
presence, yeah, up until 4. And then I actually get the scientist's name, but I mean he plays an integral role in the story and the back end, because he's one of the ones that have been making and dealing with the T virus, which is as probably not you, Adam, but the listeners who have played this game, that is the virus that started it all.
Yeah, I knew about the T virus from the movies, but then they were throwing out other letters in front of viruses like G virus and all that sort of shit, and it just lost me.
Yeah.
I've heard the story isn't the strongest for Resident Evil.
For the movies, no. For the games, there is a pronounced story, but it is if you want the entire story, like anything, you're gonna have to play everything, and I have not. So I have watched not movies, YouTube videos on the story and getting the entire story till current.
Yep. What do we want to say about the world, I guess, and the basic premise of this story, apart from Rebecca, who's part of Bravo team, who is the original... No, wait. Is she Bravo or Alpha? I always forget.
She's Bravo.
Yeah, so part of the Bravo initial team in Resident Evil 1.
Yeah. I liked how this game kind of ran, not necessarily parallel, but it was definitely around the same time as the Arclay Mansion, and how you could eventually start to see how the events of this game were leading into the events of Resident Evil 1, even though it took place at a distance, or not a distance, but like at another area.
Okay. Question probably for Resident Evil 1. Why is Bravo team going in first if Alpha team is first? Alpha numerically. And presumably better?
Presumably. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Because I know that Bravo team, if I'm remembering this correctly, Bravo team goes down, or they disappear, or something.
They disappear,
and so they send in and then they send in Alpha team, which is Jill Valentine and Wesker and all that stuff. But yeah, I think it's the A team versus the B team, essentially. But I could be wrong and misremembering that. So
no, I guess if you look at it outside of the other games, the basic premise is pretty good. Like, Bravo team go to investigate the mansion or the killings in Arklay, and they crash, and they find an abandoned train, and they meet the Leech Man, and it goes from there. And
Yeah.
Billy's on the train, or they find out that Billy's an escaped prisoner, and then Rebecca has to work with him to survive. I think that in itself, as a plot, is really good. Where it kind of goes afterwards, like as you go further through the game, I'm not 100% sold on. But like I said, first 2 hours of this game, I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, and then it did start kind of feeling samey.
Okay. In the camp way that it does.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that Billy and Rebecca, there's never any real hints of like romance or like trauma bonding or anything like that. They're both very, we just need to survive kind of thing. We're not going to get together after this type of dealio.
Yeah. I really also like that, because I feel like this day and age, like, romance sells. And it doesn't matter what it is, there's always a romance angle in everything. And I'm just kind of tired of it.
Yep. I also found, in terms of like world building, the file notes that you found was really helpful for someone like me who's new to the series, because it just gave you that little bit of extra context to what was going on behind the scenes. I think I ended up collecting all of them. I don't remember if I got the... I'll just quickly check through my achievements.
Yeah, and that's something that you'll see in the original trilogy. Are these the files, because that is a very big thing that they put into the game, because not only do they give you snippets of story bits that you need to know about what's going on, but some of them also contain hints to whatever puzzle that you might be on. And I think, and it's a really simple system too, because like you pick up the file and then you just scroll through it and you read it, and they're never really long. They're only, I think the longest one is like 5 or 6 pages. So
okay. Yeah, I did end up getting all of them, which was
nice.
good. Yeah, well, I'd obviously explored, and I think the guide probably helped. But it means I didn't miss anything at the start, which means I'd explored that area to, I guess, its fullest. Moving on to sound and visuals, though. Overall, sound was really good in terms of the environmental stuff. The zombie moans were good. The leeches were like top tier. I forget. The interview I was reading actually specified what they used for the leech sounds, but I didn't put it in my show notes. But it was something that just made me go, what the hell? Like, I had no idea that that's what the leeches were.
It kind of reminded me of like stirring macaroni in a pot.
It was the recordings of hamburgers being cooked. That's right. On a grill. Because I was just like, what is that sound? I do know it. But it's not leeches, but it sounds like creepy enough.
Yeah.
I think just the use of leeches in general just added that like squelchiness. The
Yeah.
guns sounded pretty good as well. I didn't get the achievement for getting all the guns, so I'm guessing there's one I missed out on. But my main ones were like the pistol, the shotgun, and the grenade launcher, and all of those sounded good enough for what they were. Um,
Yeah.
the fucking voice acting, but ugh, 2000s friggin' survival horror games, man. What the hell are these
Yeah.
actors doing? Like,
One thing that I will note, and you'll see this playing through the, well, you probably won't because they probably got rid of it. I don't remember. But in the original trilogy, the voice acting was, yeah, but the rendering for the characters that were talking, it was just hilarious because they'll be sitting there talking and then just like randomly like waving their hands. Like,
oh,
it was
okay.
funny. Like, I'll have to find a video of it and send it to you.
Yeah, I felt like I didn't have any problems with the cutscenes and like audio being out of sync or anything. It was just poor voice acting. I think I remember hearing for the original trilogy, or even Silent Hill, they used native Japanese, like
Hmm.
actors, to speak English, um, when English wasn't like a full second language for them. So that's why it
Yeah.
sounds really like stilted and just crap. But by 2009, they'd already established quite a few games in the series. Oh, 2016, sorry. They could have redone the voice acting. Like what?
Probably.
Even
Their
Resi
localization was probably a lot better by then.
even Resi 6 was out by then. Um, so they could
Hmm.
have just cast new actors. But I gotta say, the Leech Man singing, friggin' hilarious. His opera stuff that he does right at the start.
Yeah, the obviously male character singing a female aria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hilarious.
Like, at first I thought that was just like just a background track. And then like as they're zooming in on him, like his mouth is open and he's
Yeah.
like raising his arms and I'm like, oh no, that's him.
I just thought, oh, hell yeah, we're gonna have a drag queen bloody boss. main main antagonist. This is gonna be awesome.
Nope.
Like, what's his name? Um, someone like Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, who's like just so camp and so out there, flamboyant, and it's just like, yes, I hope we get one without it being offensive, but
No.
no.
So what did you think of the visual style? Like,
Pretty
'cause
good.
I personally thought, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same across the board with all the other games. Is that you have the dark undertones and rain usually sometimes, and just the overall aesthetic of the environment is creepy.
Yeah, I don't put much faith in Capcom and their remasters. Like, the expectation bar is quite low, um, because a couple of other remasters they've done for other various things have been like rubbish. So I came in with quite low expectations, expecting not to have much improved from the 2002 version. Um, but like, it was actually really good, like well above a GameCube level graphics. I didn't have to
Yeah.
install any extra shaders or anything like that at all.
I, I thought about it just because of how old the game is, but I mean, it looked good enough for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like,
And then,
if you go to
oh, go
if
ahead.
you go to the Discord and have a look at my screenshot I took, um, in backlog golf of when Rebecca gets attacked by the baboon. Um, That looked friggin' hilarious. And I think, did you use any of the costumes at all?
No, no. I think I found a couple of them, or unlocked a couple of them, but I don't think I used them just because, like, I have a weird thing about stuff like that. Like, the only reason I would use a costume is if it really, like, if it gives you something,
Yeah, okay.
like extra damage or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't actually share. I shared in another Discord where I did a short review, so I'll send it to you now. But this is what I ended up getting from my screenshot.
Yeah,
Love it.
oh god, there's so much to unpack there. Because you have this undead aide on her back, and she's just sitting there looking at the camera like, oh no, Mr. Baboon, please don't eat me.
Yeah, we can talk about it here because it's not really a spoiler. There were too many fucking animals as bosses.
Yeah, there are a few animal bosses in all of the games that I've played. But this one definitely takes the cake with the majority of them being animals.
Yep.
Because I mean, you have the scorpion, and then you have
The centipede.
the centipede, yeah. And then what was next?
Was it the bat? Or is there a tyrant fight
The bat.
before then?
Yeah, it was the bat, and then I think it was the tyrant fight.
Okay. Which it was really good seeing the origins of that as well.
Yeah. Well, so that's what T-Virus stands for, is tyrant.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure they told me that during the story. It's just, yeah, I let a lot of the story wash over me because I figure it'll get itself caught up. And speaking to people who are more experts in the field, they definitely said that, yep, Zero is one of the... You're in for a treat because Zero's on the low end of the series.
Yeah. And really all it's doing is just giving some more backstory on what happens before. I mean, it's doing what a prequel does.
Yeah, 100%. Particularly when they're made after the fact.
Yeah.
I think the game does have some replay value though. Not only for the achievements, because there's beating it on hard, there's beating it without using certain items, there's beating it without saving, which you wouldn't want to do unless you have it down to like a speedrun type, knowing what's coming.
And that's something that you'll find going forward, especially with the remakes, is that they do give you some challenges that you can do, such as, no saving. There are achievements that you can get where if you beat the game in under a certain amount of time with under a certain amount of saves, like, you'll get a reward for it.
Oh, I hate that.
These games are so much fun doing that, though. They really are. Because it really challenges you, and what it is just you basically just have to know the game and know when to fight and when to run and where to go and what to do and how to do it the quickest way you possibly can. And then that's the cool thing about that stuff, is that it's all optional.
Yep. This game actually does have quite a bit of post-game content because it's got Wesker mode, which I started, in which you play as Albert Wesker with some unique powers. They just reskinned him in the cutscene, so he talks with Billy's voice. He just looks like Wesker.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking not cool. And there's also Leech Hunt, um, which is like a side thing, which you run around and collect leeches, or a certain amount of things throughout. I didn't do it. Did you
Yeah,
touch on that?
I didn't do any of this. I honestly completely forgot that there was side content in this game, so I didn't do any of it.
Yep. Yeah, fair.
But yeah, now that I know about it, I'm probably gonna go back and give it all a try.
Uh, Good on you. I think this game was a one and done for me.
That's fair. I get it. Uh, I I don't want to jump back into it because it was kind of boring to me. But then again, like I said, I played it on easy because I just wanted the story. And I think a lot of the fun in this game is the challenge of, coming up on enemies and trying to figure out if you should just run through them or fight or whatever. But, with this one, I just killed everything and just bulldozed my way through.
Yep. Yeah.
And you said that the story kind of washed over you. Do you think it was compelling enough?
Um, to be honest, no.
No,
No.
that's fair. Um, I'm trying to defend it, but it's really hard to defend playing a prequel before the original games when prequels are meant to be done with certain knowledge of whatever it is that it's coming before. So I get it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then, so I'll talk on the story a little bit because I am more immersed in the story than you because, this is your first Resident Evil game. But, I feel like, um, the way they handled everything, tying in some things to the original trilogy, especially the first game. Because if I'm remembering correctly, Rebecca Chambers, while not a character that you can control in one, is a character that you do come across in one, through one of the two playthroughs. I forget whose. So, the tie-ins are really good. I feel like the storytelling and the leading up to everything that happens in one is really good.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and I've said it before a few times, and I'll say it again. Like it does exactly what a prequel is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see from that sense. I guess just looking at it as its own contained kind of entity, um, there were just a lot of boxes that it didn't tick that it should have.
Yeah, and who knows? Whenever we get through, the original trilogy or even the first game, I mean, it might make you want to go back through and replay it and see if you know. But I don't know. You have quite a backlog.
I do indeed.
So, but I plan on playing it because there's a lot of stuff that I missed, and there's a lot of stuff that I would like to continue, and I might play it on a harder difficulty.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
we might as well jump into our ratings then.
yeah.
We're already halfway there. Would you like to go first?
Sure. I'll give it a fun. For what it is, it did what it was supposed to. There were a few caveats, but I mean, yeah, I definitely give this one a fun rating.
Okay. I'm gonna differ and go fail. Um, just because for being part of a great and well respected survival horror series, at the end of the day, it just doesn't tick enough of what it needs to be good, either good horror or good survival horror. The inventory management is just atrocious. I can understand making it hard, and it does well in terms of like what you have on your person. That's more than fine. But if I have to dump my weapons in the middle of the floor, and then just leave them, it's just too immersion breaking. Not like boxes of where you can store all your inventory aren't. There were just too many things in terms of this gameplay that took me out of the moment, out of being there with Rebecca and Billy, and just went down to just being another system as opposed to having to fight for our lives through these places and fight off zombies and animals.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where we did ourselves a disservice by playing it on the easiest difficulty because, it is supposed to be a survival horror game, and most of the other games, I don't remember if they have a tiered structure for difficulty or not, but I do understand your reasonings, and while you were sitting there telling me, I was thinking about it, and the only reason I can think of that they would get rid of the item storage box is because of the partner system, because they gave you essentially a mobile storage box, but it didn't really work out that way.
Yeah, and the AI is another reason why. Like, yes, I'm all for having AI. It's fine. Even if they could have made it a co-op delivery, because we had plenty of co-op games by 2016. I think there was even co-op games in 2002. Plenty around. Maybe. Because we had like...
Maybe.
I'm just trying to think of another co-op game on the GameCube. Potentially not.
Oh, for the GameCube? Yeah, this is all you, buddy.
Yeah, because I know we had like Halo and stuff like that for the Xbox, and a couple of titles on the PS1, PS2 maybe. Can't think of anything co-op, Nintendo-wise, off the top of my head. But regardless, I added in as a new mode for the remake, or remaster.
Yeah.
Like, being able to play this together with you, for example, would have made the experience a hell of a lot better, and probably would have pushed it over to the fun for me.
Yeah. And I feel like a co-op option for this game, if they ever did want to venture out and remake this one again, and use the RE word system, I'll call it. I don't remember the thing that they used to build the game.
Engine.
Engine. That's the RE engine. If they want to go back through and do another remake with the RE engine with this game, if they did a co-op option, like, it definitely would make the game a bit more enjoyable. But I mean,
I guess
it was fun for, like I said, it was fun for me because I'd never played it before, and I got to see certain aspects of the story firsthand that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and I guess if anything, it's made me more looking forward to playing the rest of the series, knowing that this one's at the tail end of good.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'll come into the other ones with higher expectations.
Yeah, and I know they did a really good job with the first remake. They really did. It's not with the RE engine, but they did a fantastic job with the RE1 remake, and I'm excited for you to try it. So, so long story short, play this game if you haven't and you've played through the others. And don't play it if you haven't played through the others.
Yes. Big agree there. Okay, everyone.
And with...
You go.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was going to introduce house cleaning.
Yep. Same. So that ends our spoiler-free portion of the episode. We will be doing our normal music break, and on the other side of that, going through some story spoilers. So thank you once again, everyone, for listening. If you would like to join our Discord community, which is awesome, head on over to bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all caps, to do so.
Oh, sorry. And speaking of Discord, you should go check out our leader, Dalton Suter, aka Nile the Nightmare. You can find all of his music, which he did for the intro and outro of our podcast, at nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. And you can also find all his stuff on YouTube, so go give him a follow and a subscribe. That is Dalton Suter or nilethenightmare.com.
Yep.
.com. Not .com, just Nile the Nightmare.
You can follow me on everything under Spectre approved. So Blue Sky, Instagram, all those sorts of things. Also drop some comments or leave a review of your version of how you found the games if you play through with us. Over on Infinite Backlog, I finally changed that over to Spectre approved there.
Nice. And you can find me Discord, Steam, Epic, EA, God, Final Fantasy 14, on Gilgamesh, on Fenris, Spain, everywhere. So come check me out. Say hi.
Excellent. And don't forget to rate, review, share, and send us questions for the next episode, which is your pick, Fenris.
And that is going to be Assassin's Creed 2.
Yes. Excellent.
The best of the original trilogy, I feel.
Oh, yeah. Ezio in general is my favourite assassin.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So for the music break, we'll be playing the track Train Derailment.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Welcome back, everyone, after that little music break, to the spoiler section of Resident Evil 0. Whilst this game is pretty light on the overall story, it does have stuff that it does spoil, particularly for Resident Evil 1 as well. So I'll be deferring to you a bit in this one, Fenris, because you've actually played the games, whereas I'm just going off what I have read and inklings there. Because, as we all know, Wesker does become a bad guy pretty early on, as is established in every sort of friggin' Resident Evil thing. And also... Oh, go ahead. Okay. He certainly seemed bad enough in this. Like he gave, like when they're just sitting there watching Rebecca and Billy go through as like an experiment type thing. I'm like, I already know he does turn bad, but it's like, oh, okay, this is like his origins of like, I guess, wanting greater things than what Umbrella can give him. And just feeds into prequelitis.
Yes.
And the foreknowledge of where a character's going to go, so you can preload them with that stuff. Um, but probably the biggest reveal is the fact that Dr. James Marcus is back, one of the founding members of Umbrella, in the form of our Leech Queen.
Yeah. Um, I know, I was just gonna say he
Yep.
doesn't become an apparent bad guy until the very end of the first game.
Yeah, well, the fact that they call the boss the Leech Queen, I think, is how much of his mind is actually retained. That much I didn't really get. Because I know the Leech has reanimated his body to kind of become the Leech Queen, but
Yes. Hmm. Yeah, he was one of the founding members of Umbrella, and he disappeared at some point, and come to find out, he I'm forgetting the story. Didn't he get betrayed? Yeah, he got betrayed. So this whole game with him as the big evil is him getting revenge on William Birkin and Albert Wester and all them because uh something happened and someone close to him died, and now he wants
okay.
revenge, and he's got a lovely
Yeah.
singing voice.
Um, so that's kind of the reveal around the boss. Look, as a boss fight goes, it was fine. Um, I didn't have any dramas with it. Fire.
I I'm cross-referencing my knowledge of the other games, because the bosses you come across in the original trilogy are mindless tanks that one mission and one mission only. Um, the enemies don't really retain their memories or their psyches until 4 or 5, because that's when you start getting into the bosses that can talk, and the plagas and all that stuff, where it's not necessarily a virus that takes over, but it is a, I can't think of the word. It's a parasite. It is a parasite that affixes to the host and basically enhances them. But yeah, I think this is the first time in the series after 3, and not counting Wesker, that you actually have a sentient being that can talk to you who is also um infected. Y- Yeah, I didn't either. Like said before, I just, yeah, the game on easy was just too easy, and I just blew through this game with pistols.
Yeah, yeah, that was really surprising. Because I had to use the shot. Well, shotgun was my main one. Um, but yeah, the pistol, it was fine. And again, we're playing on easy, so I'm guessing as the difficulty ramps up, enemies will take more bullets, and you'll find less bullets.
Yeah, and and that's just kind of what my whole thing on it was, just because, like, as soon as I took down the scorpion with a pistol, I was like, what? And then I was just kept using the pistol because I know from experience that pistol ammo is going to be in abundance over everything else. And, I'm one of those people that will sit there and hoard stuff. for the niche uses of it, such as,
Yeah.
magnum ammo and uh, rocket launcher ammo and all that stuff.
Are you the type of
So,
guy that finishes a Final Fantasy with 99 potions, 99 elixirs?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I am a hoarder in games, which is hard to do in Resident Evil games because inventory management. But anyway,
Yeah.
we digress.
I guess the other big surprise is Billy, because he's presented as a criminal at the very start. You see his crashed out prison transportation van, and he wears the handcuffs the whole game. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
cool.
where it, and Rebecca finds documentation saying that he killed his squad overseas, I think. But he was actually
Yeah, it was in
oh
Vietnam.
so
So yeah, it was. I don't know if it was the Vietnam War, but it was. I'm pretty sure
I
in
was going to say,
Vietnam,
does
if
that
I'm
mean
remembering
we're
that
in the
correctly.
80s here?
And
Because Vietnam finished
um,
up around 77. So
yeah, I don't.
very
I don't
interesting.
know.
Didn't even think of that as I was going through.
Let me
Yeah.
let me look that up
So the
real
long
quick.
story short with Billy is he was framed for it because he did kill someone, but it
Okay.
was his corrupt commanding officer, and that was in self defense and was used by the military as a scapegoat, and framed for the murder of the 23 other people in his squad.
Oh no, I'm dumb. The original trilogy takes place in 1998.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe it was yeah. Don't know.
Let me. Yeah. Continue.
Um, I was just gonna say, yeah. So Billy really plays that archetype of the prisoner with a heart of gold who wasn't really there. Um, Rebecca, though, at the end of the game, lets him go after she finds this out and files a false report that he was killed.
Yeah, which kudos to her because this is her first job or her first mission on this job, and
Yeah,
she essentially ends up doing everything wrong.
and Billy doesn't come back in the series, does he?
I don't think so.
No, that was a very good decision by the game makers, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Um,
he's wanted, so like he's a
yeah,
wanted man, so it makes sense for him to just disappear off the face of the earth.
exactly. And he didn't have any strong connection to Umbrella or Stars. His only connection was to Rebecca,
Uh,
really.
yeah,
Um, so, unless it's something with her as the main character, I think it's a good idea that they don't bring him back.
I can definitely agree on that.
Because I can tell you right now, I'm gonna fucking hate 6 because of their story devices. Um,
Yeah, they did split six into it's one story with four different viewpoints. So yeah, you pick one, I'll pick another.
yeah. Um, the Umbrella Training Facility and Underground Lab give early glimpses into the evil behind the company's operations, I feel. That training facility level was actually really good and really well made. Although I remember you telling me you had a problem. That was where you lost the majority of your data. Was at the chess puzzle that's in there.
Yeah, because I was just going through the story and uh, I forgot to save on my way in, and I was following a guide at that point, but I was like, oh, well, I figured it out. Match the chess pieces on the ground to the chess pieces on the board. It was simple. So I started moving the pieces, and then I got poisoned, and then I died. But, yeah, that was the first time that I died. I lost my train of thought. Second time I died was I can't remember what they were called, but it was like the bleach plant human things. I don't know. It's the ones that like shot tentacles at you.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then yeah, because that wasn't very fun. That was the first challenge I feel like I actually really had. But
I really like how they had the Cerberus come in. Because there was a dog window bit, wasn't there, like in the first game? Because there was a bit where I went, oh, holy fuck, as it jumped through the window.
yeah.
And then it did.
Oh,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say the Cerberus dogs are a staple in the games.
Yeah.
There is always going to be a dog of some form.
Excellent. Nothing like creepy dogs.
Yep. Well, I mean, you have to have something small and fast that you have to aim at.
Yeah, that's true. And the Proto Tyrant. What did you think of that battle? Because there's two, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely thought it was challenging, and it was good to see the Proto Tyrant for what it was before too. So that was it was a really nice touch. Being able to see the Tyrant in its before stages before you need it in Resident Evil 2.
Yep. Yeah. Look, I don't really have a lot to say in this spoiler section because it was callbacks, I think, to at least the first 3 games in the bits that I probably missed. There would have been a lot of callbacks.
Yeah, that's fair. There were some callbacks, and honestly, there's really not much to touch on, because it is all just a bunch of callbacks and lore building and filling in holes with the story and giving backstory. And the only reason that you would play this game is for the continuation of the story. And the puzzles are the puzzles were pretty good. Like I thought the puzzles were well done. The boss battles, outside of mostly being giant insects and giant animals and animals in general, it makes sense because people are going to do animal testing before they do human testing.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that's why it's not a deal breaker to have the animals. But just like the fucking centipede, it's like, what the hell? Who tests the T-virus on a centipede, first of all? One of the most venomous insects out there.
I think that's why they did that, just for the shock horror of it just being, a centipede. And I don't remember why they had a giant scorpion and a giant centipede and a giant bat as boss fights for this game. Right, but that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because
But
it's around a church you fight that one, isn't it?
yeah, and it's a mammal, but like the
Yep.
insects, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I think maybe they should have swapped the order, but I can see how a centipede wouldn't be a good fight for a train. Um, you would think a scorpion would be like more scary, I guess, than a centipede, but I don't know.
I mean, it would have been if we were playing on a more difficult level, but I
Yeah,
mean, because you only have a finite amount of room to move around in, and I mean that's pretty much it. As that's
yeah,
the way that fight is supposed to go, because you can't really run around it. You just have to stay in front of it and dodge its attacks.
I'm very glad I had the shotgun there. Um, I don't know how you do it with a friggin' pistol, man.
Uh, Shoot enough bullets and kill it.
Yeah, I just kept getting knocked over. Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, outside of boss battles and uh, you know, I'm about looking through my notes here, and the majority of it is just there's a zombie order room and a treatment plant, and I mean that was kind of fun. Uh, the puzzles were really well done. I mean, they were vague enough to be challenging, but easy enough that you could figure it out if you spent enough time on it. I'm not talking about you know, the puzzle train or the train
yeah,
puzzle. Uh, like I said, the chess room puzzle was really simple. When you mash the board on the ground up to the one on the deal, but there's a certain way that you have to do it, or else you'll release uh, poison into the room and get yourself poisoned.
yep,
And that's where they introduced the blue herbs, which cure poison. Uh, but I can mention if you're right. See, there's okay, the power regulator puzzle, which I mean you had to read notes
yeah.
and yeah,
I
which
don't mind
that
those
one,
type of puzzles.
yeah, I didn't either, and that was actually a pretty fun little sequence because it traps one of your characters down into this very tiny maze-like labyrinth where you have to clear gates and move them around while someone else lowers and raises gates, and then you have to get I forget what it is, but once you get it to the thing like that, a random gate pops up once you pick up the item, and an eliminator pops out, and you have to deal with that. And the eliminator was a fun fight. Uh, it was a little challenging.
Yep. Yeah, I
Um,
did enjoy the control scheme that or the way they did the partner swapping was complete control over it, not just allocating them to a stick. Like, I know when we
yeah,
eventually play Brothers, I'm going to struggle with that aspect.
it's a lot easier than you think, at least for brothers. But that's neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, I do want to touch on that because that's something that I thought that they did really well. As it took me a while to figure out the quick access controls for that, because you
Oh,
can,
it was
yeah,
start
because
for me.
oh no no no, what I mean because yeah, it was start to switch over
Yep,
because it did the whole little like vibrate and then the heartbeat and then the
yeah,
character you left gave a little nod as in like you go have fun. Um, But then there was another one. There was another quick access control keybind that I am completely blanking on that I found that was really useful. But I can't remember what mechanic it was. Oh, that's what it was. There was a button you could push to make them stay.
Ah,
Or
yep.
yeah, I didn't realize that until probably 3/4 of the way through the training facility basement.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I would accidentally hit it or something, and I'd be walking through a door, and whoever was following wouldn't be following, and uh, I was just like, what the hell is going on? So
Oh,
finally,
yeah, that I enjoyed the door animation because I knew that it meant nothing was going to attack me while that animation was going on.
yeah, yeah. And fun fact, those are loading screens.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Very,
So
because they also use something similar in Fatal Frame, um, the horror game where you use camera to kill ghosts.
oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, they use that same kind of door animation, and it was very helpful there as well.
yeah. And just because we're on the topic, like I just want to touch on the fact that I love games that do that. Like hide their loading screens behind something, like in Mass Effect, the
The
elevators.
elevators, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but anyway, were there any parts of this game that you actually had issues with, or like trouble? I mean, you followed a guide, so if you didn't have a guide, are there any parts of this game that you felt like you would have had trouble with? There, words. I know
Yeah,
them.
majority of the
Oh
puzzles.
no. Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Uh,
have a great brain for it, particularly because I play late at night because it's the only time I can with children. Um, so games where you need to think a lot aren't really my speciality.
yeah, I get that, and you'll find that a lot in the original trilogy. As the games are, or not the games, puzzles are intentionally made because they do make you think, and yeah, it can be quite difficult, and add that into the Souls like, no, no, not Souls like, uh, uh Castlevania-esque style um mechanics of the game where you have to do all this stuff, and then you find, for instance, in this game, a red door with a fire motif emblem on it that you can't get through, so you have to continue on, and um, eventually you'll find a key with a fire motif emblem on it, and then you can go back to the fire door, but you have to remember where that door is, and I had issues remembering where that door was.
Yep.
Uh, that is one thing that they kind of get away from, I think, in 4. 4 is a lot more linear in the sense that you don't have to backtrack a whole lot.
That's good.
Yeah. However, it is a much bigger game in a sense of the world, because
Mm-hmm.
you're not in, a dinky little 6-room area with multiple floors.
Yep.
So, uh, yeah, I I also followed a guide, as stated before, and I mean, if I had just been playing this blind, I feel like I could have figured out all of these, with the exception of like the numerical ones, and I mean the Watergate one where with the Eliminator fight, uh, I feel like I eventually would have figured that one out, but this day and age, I probably would have, you know, gotten frustrated and looked up a guide.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
No, that's all I had in terms of anything for the spoiler wall. So sorry, guys, might be a shorter one on this end.
yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say about the spoiler wall outside of, if you play this before you play the original games and you have no idea what's going on, you're gonna find Wesker, and
Yep.
he's gonna be evil, and you're going to see that. And then you're gonna jump into the first game, and he's not gonna be evil until the end of the game. You're gonna be confused, and like it's a very prequel game. Like it does exactly what it is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And, throw in tank controls and static cameras and vaguely spelled out puzzles, and boom, there you go. You have everything you need for a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, I guess it sets the formula as well and reinforces it. Um, so it does that, but like I said, if anything, it's made me look forward to the rest of the series and kind of given me higher hopes.
Yeah. I will say, if you do play these games for the story is a little confusing because of the way it's spread out. Um, but it's nowhere near as bad as Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. So, like, I watched a 30-minute video on the story of Kingdom Hearts, and I still had no clue what was going on.
I've played the majority of the first one, and I just like going to the different Disney worlds.
Yeah, I think I made it through like half of the first game, and then I don't know what made me stop playing it, but
The combat
it's fun.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Particularly in the first one. I think by number 3, they've gripped it up a bit, but
Yeah,
and the fact that they call it Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's actually like Kingdom Hearts 8 or 9.
yeah, and that's because I play games for the story, So
Yeah.
like, when I was trying to get into Kingdom Hearts, I didn't realize that there was like 13,000 side games that you had to play in order to get
Yeah.
the full story. So, yeah, I gave up on Kingdom Hearts.
The story so far is a great collection. I think you can get for PS4, PS5 backwards compatibility. And it's got everything bundled in, including the movies and all that sort of stuff.
Not bad.
But in terms of Resident Evil, I think we're pretty done.
Yeah.
Considering we went on a Kingdom Hearts tangent.
Yeah, and we'll definitely probably have a lot more to say for Resident Evil 1 now that, there's a premise for what's going on.
Yep. Cool beans. Well,
but
thank you. Oh, go ahead.
I know, I was just gonna say one last thing about how it was good to get viewpoints from someone who has played the other games and other viewpoints from someone who has not played the other games.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think overall it was the right choice um, to start with zero, because at the very least it gets the shitter one out the way for me.
yeah,
So we'll see how we
but
go with one.
yeah, like I said, I mean the remake for one it was done really well. They did change a few things, but it's mostly just graphical, and but it's good. I think you'll enjoy it a little bit more than zero.
Yep.
Uh, but that's about all I have to say about that.
Cool beans. Thanks. So thank you once again, dear listeners, for tuning in. Like Fenris said earlier, our next game will be the much lauded Assassin's Creed 2. I think it's not a spoiler to say we're both enjoying it thus far, going through it again. This will be my number 3 playthrough. I'm guessing you
Yeah, I was
have
about to
multiple
say
under
this
your
is my
belt.
third. Yeah, this is gonna be my third or fourth playthrough of that.
Yeah. Um,
Serious 10 million.
but then I'm still noticing stuff on the version I'm playing now that I've either forgotten or didn't pick up the first couple of times anyway.
Nice.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
So please follow us on the socials that we dropped on the main episode. Give us a like, review, share where you can. It is very much appreciated. I didn't talk about the Patreon. Whoops. Head on over to
Oopsies.
patreon.com/Spectre approved if you would like to join the Patreon there for as little as $5 Australian. I don't know what the currency conversion currently is for US dollars. You
I
get
think it's like
extra.
350.
That's pretty good. You pay that a month, you get our extra pre-banter at the start and additional voting rights for games that you may want us to play. So once again, this has been Spectre approved. I am Adam,
And I'm generous.
and happy gaming.
Happy gaming.